It's Trixie's Tier List Thursdays. If you're seeing this, it means I successfully recorded 12 back-to-back tier list videos on July 1st and 2nd and scheduled them to be released every Thursday from July 3rd up through September 16th. By that point, I hopefully will have recorded the next batch based on whatever you want me to say, do based on the comments. But on September 25th, I'll do a video where I reflect on the 12 and your responses to them. If you enjoy this type of content, please make sure you check out other golden butterflies like Gigadonk's channel, Gigalists, or Z-Cypher's Pokemon tier list. Check out both of their main content as well. It's all linked down below. Oops, I reincarnated as a tier lister show on Mayday from Space's channel. All of that's linked below, and if there's more tier lists that people told me about, they're going to be linked down there as well. This is part 3. So if you missed parts 1 and 2, you're in the wrong place. You need to start with part 1, and you need to have seen part 2 if you want to understand why everything that's in this chart is where it is. But the chart continues. I'm going to take a nap after this part and then continue with part 4, because there's clearly going to be like 5 or 6 parts to this. There's just so many goddamn video game franchises, but I'm having fun. I like this one. This feels solid. Silent Hill. I've only really played Silent Hill 2, and only for like 6 or 7 hours, and it seems really interesting. I am more interested, this is another one I'm more interested to watch someone else play than I am to play it myself, not for a skill level reasons, just like I don't think I'll have that much like fun playing it as a game, especially not all of them. I'm not that into horror like that, but they're so interesting narratively that I would like to watch someone play through these. So I'm going to say maybe around the same level as Sonic in that regard. Dino Crisis I have not played. Duke Nukem I don't think I've actually played. I'm definitely familiar with it since I was a kid, but I think I just saw other people play it. Never played Postal. Okay, Shantae is special. And Shantae is interesting because each game in the series is quite different, but most of them are also quite good. And I'm hesitant to put it above Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing is really, really good. But I actually might enjoy it more. Like for me, I also feel like I maybe have rated Portal too high for like my personal enjoyment. Let me rearrange this a little bit, because I feel like I would put Shantae, in terms of like a game I want to play, pretty high up here. Maybe even above Doom. Yeah, I think I'm going to put Shantae next to Toad, because these are both game franchises that I can just casually like play these games and enjoy them. The first Shantae is really, really excellent. The second one's kind of mid. The third one's really fun. It's less of like a masterpiece, but a better just like play experience. And 4 I've gotten like 3 or 4 stages into, and these games are pretty hard, so they're not like a breeze for me, but they are games that I will pick up again and like come back to and keep giving a shot to. So I like them quite a bit. And then down here, I do think Shadow of the Colossus alone like kind of outclasses some of these games that I've put it lower than, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. And then, does anything else need to move? Yeah, Portal should be under Animal Crossing. Actually, Portal might be under Fire Emblem for me, if I'm being totally honest. I know I've reordered it from previous videos now, but it is what it is. This is what happens when you keep thinking through it. Never played Heretic or Hexen. Pac-Man. I've never been super into Pac-Man. Like, obviously, it's really good. I don't think it would be as fun to watch someone who's really good at Pac-Man even as much as, like, a Donkey Kong, because it is kind of mindless. I can't in good conscience put it in mid, though. So I'm going to say the bottom of above average for me. Tetris. Ooh, I feel similarly about Tetris, but it is more fun than Pac-Man, probably. But not by like a ton. It is another one where I can watch people play it, but it's not as like fun to watch as like, these games that actually have like levels and stages and like a lot of change as they go. Okay, Serious Sam is trash. Just absolute trash. I know there are people who like that franchise. I don't really know why. Everything I've seen of it just looks like ass. Bomberman. This is one where, like, the standard Bomberman experience has been a bunch of very similar games that are, like, okay. And then every once in a while they do, like, a random, totally unique action platformer. And sometimes those are, like, really fucking cool. So for me, Bomberman definitely clears above average. I would even put it in good. I think it's hard for me to rate it above Super Mario in good conscience, but it is more my type of game. That said, would I have more fun watching someone play Bomberman or Super Mario? Probably Super Mario. So I'm going to put Bomberman right below Super Mario. But, like, for me, this might be the more preferred gaming experience, depending on which Bomberman we're talking about, though. Again, there's a fuckload of them, and a lot of them are not interesting. I don't think I've actually played Excitebike. I've never played Splinter Cell, even though it is interesting to me. Never played Ultimate Alliance, does not look fun. Never played Ghost Recon, never played Wasteland. I don't even recognize what the fuck this symbol means. Never actually played Perfect Dark, never played One Piece. Don't think I've played Knights. Okay, Jak and Daxter, I've only played the first game. I got like 75% of the way through it and kind of just got worn out on it. Like, it's a big game, but it's not, like, unique enough, I think. It's very similar to Banjo-Kazooie, and I think I probably enjoy playing it more than Banjo-Kazooie, but I don't know if it has a more interesting personality, or if I'd rather watch someone play Jak than Banjo. I'm going to rank it right under Banjo, because I think it's too similar to not acknowledge the similarity, at least in the first game. And I don't know if it's, like, as overall interesting as Banjo is. I don't think I've ever played SOCOM. World War I game series. I don't even know what that is. Jet Set Radio, I don't think I've actually played. I have played all 3 Splatoons, and I love Splatoon. I really love Splatoon. In fact, I think I'm going to have to put Splatoon in Masterpiece tier for me. I enjoy Splatoon more than Super Smash Brothers. I enjoy playing it more than Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's inspired me as much. But, I mean, aesthetically, one of the coolest video games. You know, I love the Squid Kids. I love the music. I love the aesthetics. I love the gameplay. It's easily my favorite online multiplayer game. I haven't played nearly as much of it as I feel like I should. But, you know, I could see picking it back up and getting back into it, especially knowing that it's probably been updated quite a bit since the last time I played it. Never played Fear, never played Crisis, never played Granblue, never played Overcooked, never played Dungeon Fighter, never played Brothers in Arms. Neo, way too fucking hard for me. It's basically like if you took the Dark Souls mechanics and were like, let's make this as video gamey as possible. Like, not that it's completely without artistry, but it's nowhere near as dedicated to being like a masterpiece of art as Souls is. I would qualify it above average, but for me as a gameplay experience and like in terms of what it's inspired and like watching other people, I have watched other people play it. It is fairly fun to watch other people play. I think for me, this is going to go right above Banjo. Like, I could more easily see myself having fun playing Neo than the stuff that I've ranked below it. But it's not as much fun to watch someone play as like a Star Fox or a Sonic is. And I don't really have a strong desire to go back to it. Monster Rancher, I never played. I saw some of the show as a kid. Amnesia, I think I tried to play the first game, and this is not my type of video game at all. Definitely, I don't like it. Like, I'm sure this is probably good by some people's description, but just not a type of game I can enjoy. Top Gear. I never even realized they had a franchise worth of games. Horizon Chase, I've never even heard of. Dead Space. Okay. I've tried out Dead Spaces 1, 2, and 3, and none of them could I get more than like a couple hours into. I would put this for me is similar to Wolfenstein as something that like I kind of get why people like it, but to me it just seems really overrated and like Like, it's more that it's shiny and like modern than it is actually good, you know. It has more ideas than Wolfenstein, I think, but I don't know, not my type of thing really. Rock Band, like, in many ways technically superior to Guitar Hero, but it doesn't have as strong of aesthetics. I don't feel like it ever had as strong of a track list. I also just haven't played as much Rock Band. Like, around when the Rock Band game started coming out is when I was like, there had already been 3 Guitar Heroes by then, and I was kind of like burnt out on this type of game. So I haven't ever gotten as into Rock Band as I've been into Guitar Hero, but it's hard for me to imagine rating it like below good when it's practically the same thing, you know. I think I'm gonna put it up here above Sly Cooper, because I've definitely returned to it more than that. Obviously solid, just didn't have as much personal impact on me. Parappa I've never actually played. I don't know Blood. I don't know if that's related to Blood the Last Vampire or what that is. The Witcher, I've like tapped The Witcher 3, I think, maybe, but I wouldn't even call it played. Bloons Tower Defense I never played. Dragon Age, I own all 3 of them and have not played any of them, or all 3 that had all 3 that had existed at the time of the PS3. The PS3 games. I own all the PS3 games. I haven't played any of them. Never played Baldur's Gate. Oh god, I've played like a tiny bit of like OG SNES Worms, and it was dumb. These games have always seemed really dumb to me. Like, this is like basically every browser game of the 2000s was just Worms. I'm gonna go ahead and say Worms is like below average. It's pretty dumb. Worms is not trash, but it's definitely not fun. Ultima never played. Five Nights at Freddy's I think is like super duper mid. Like, I played enough of it to get the point. I think it's like less of a bloated clusterfuck than like some of these games that I really don't like, but you know, nothing special. Ape Escape I've never actually played, even though it looks really interesting. Super Monkey Ball, I've only really played the first one. It is very good. I'm tempted to put it in I don't like it, because I don't love playing Super Monkey Ball, but I get such a kick out of it, and I do like watching people play it. So it might be more in this range. I think it probably, I mean, I would rather play it than Sonic or Silent Hill. I'll put it here. Very good. It probably deserves to be higher. I'm just not good at it, and I've never dedicated myself to it. Shenmue I never played. Atelier I've only played like a tiny bit of Atelier Iris on the PS2, and maybe tapped another one, I'm not sure. I can barely qualify myself as having played this, but I have seen people play it and stuff, and it seems like the epitome of mid. Like, it just to me reads as like as mid as it could be. I'm gonna put it right below Kingdom Hearts. Soccer Wars I've never played. Football Manager I never played. Prey I tried to play the first game on Xbox, but I didn't understand it. I was like too young, and I have not played the new one, so I know they're like not related at all either. I've barely tapped Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I've never really played Digimon. Never played Flat Out. Never played Day of Defeat. Disgaea, I got like 10 or 15 hours into the first game and was always just disappointed that there wasn't more story. Like, I was really invested in the characters and their aesthetics, but like it never tries to have much more than just like goofy anime cliche dialogue. And after the first game, it felt like each one was like even less trying to be like particularly interesting in that regard. But I never played very far into any of them. So this is one where like I feel like it qualifies. I'm going to qualify this as I don't like it. Like, I know Disgaea is good. It's just not really for me. I wanted it to be for me very badly. Tales of Symphonia was like my favorite game of my teens. I think it is the epitome of like a just above average. I'd rather play Tales of than a lot of these other games that I put in above average, but I don't even think it's better. Like, it's more like nostalgia, or I think I'd have fun, but because I don't ever actually go and do it, I'm gonna bring it down here. It doesn't really deserve to be that high up, but it's, it's my childhood. Never played Verizon. I've only played a tiny bit of Valkyria Chronicles. I'm not gonna qualify it. Never played Legacy of Goku. Never played this or this or this. Dead Rising. I have only played the first game. I think it is really cool and interesting. Like, it's left a lot of impact on my mind. This is another one where I'd rather watch other people play it, so I'm going to put it in above average. I'd probably rather watch someone play this than I would actually want to play a lot of these games too. So I'm going to put this... Let's break up Banjo-Kazooie and Jak and Daxter, just for the hell of it. We made the point about them. They don't have to stay together forever. Binding of Isaac I've only played a tiny bit of, but it's very much not my bag. I would, again, put this in I don't like it. Definitely a good game, just not for me. Prince of Persia, I played like halfway through the first game, and there's just too many things that frustrate me about it for me to truly consider it like above average. I am tempted to call this a mid-franchise. I think this might sit above Kingdom Hearts, but ultimately be kind of mid, despite how much Yahtzee Croshaw blows smoke up its ass. I could be wrong. Maybe it deserves better. I haven't played any of the remakes or anything. Alright, never played NASCAR. Never played Driver. Never played Spelunky. Never played True Climb. Never played Clock Tower. I don't even know what this X is. Maybe this is Samurai Showdown. I can't even tell. I mean, yeah, they're not really in any kind of order. Nier. I've played through Nier only to the first ending, which I know is not really playing Nier. I learned that kind of afterwards, and I've only played a tiny bit of Automata, but it seems super interesting. So, like, I'm tempted to put Nier in at least good, just on intrigue alone, even though I didn't really enjoy what I played in the first game that much. I'm gonna put it in above average. I think that's more fair. More fair to, like, my actual experience. I think, since I didn't honestly love it, so I'm gonna put it maybe in like above Metal Slug. But I'm very interested. Like, if I play Automata, it will probably go up. Like, I only played like an hour of Nier Automata, so that could easily raise. Just didn't like the first game that much. Okay, Tomb Raider. This is an interesting one because I've revisited the first game a couple times. I ended up really falling in love with it. I wrote, or didn't write, but like recorded this like 7-hour video deep diving it. And then I tried to play the sequel, and I thought it was like way worse and way less interesting. And there were team shakeups and everything, so it's not like it's even really the same people who made it exactly. And I'm assuming this is just... Actually, I was assuming this is just modern Tomb Raider, but this might be inclusive of all Tomb Raider. And in that case, I mean, the old games are also really interesting. I just haven't played them super a whole lot. But, like, considering how much I like Tomb Raider 2013, that alone for me is going to clear anything that I am not, like, super into, like, playing myself. So I think I'm going to put Tomb Raider, like, pretty fucking high up. I think I can clear all the way up to right underneath Fire Emblem. And like, I think I enjoyed Tomb Raider 2013 more than I have enjoyed any of the Fire Emblems I've played, but I see a lot of potential here, and I don't know, maybe this does belong. Maybe this belongs in very good for me. Like, I really like Tomb Raider 2013 a whole lot. It's not that I think I'm going to play it like a million times or anything. It just very specifically appeals to me. Sniper Elite, never played. Diablo, never really played. State of Decay, I've never heard of. Fable, I played most of Fable 1. It's fun, but, like, as a franchise, Fable is just, like, missing too much sauce. Like, it has a ton of good ideas that were iterated on better by other games, I think. But, like, it's a tough one to go back to because it just feels like it's missing the heart it's supposed to have. I'm gonna put it in above average. I probably had more fun playing Fable than I've ever had playing like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man, but I don't know if I had more fun than I've ever had playing Tetris. Is a hard one to say for sure. Never really played Chivalry, never really played Samurai Showdown, never really played Dynasty Warriors or wanted to. I hate watching people play it. Space Invaders I've never really liked Space Invaders. Can't imagine having that much fun watching someone else play Space Invaders. So for me, this is going to be like pretty close to the bottom of mid. Obviously a classic game, tremendously important. Just not for me. Never played any Monster Hunter, even though it's always intrigued me from a distance. Men of War I never heard of. Never played Command & Conquer, never played Rage. Undertale and Deltarune. Okay, so this is where we're going to get real controversial. Because for me, this is going to qualify... Maybe it won't be too controversial. I think for me, Undertale goes... You know what? Actually, I'm surprised how much I feel like this clears for me. I'm going to put it right... Ooh, God, this is tough. I think between God of War and The Last of Us. And because Undertale had like a pretty... I definitely think the narrative of Undertale is like way more interesting than The Last of Us. I don't know if it hit me as hard as playing God of War did, like as a teen, and like, well, no, that's not fair. I'm gonna put it above God of War. That's more fair. Persona appeals to me too particularly, and also is too big of an influence on Undertale for me to like in good conscience put it above that. Like, I did not enjoy the mechanics of Undertale that much, but I did think the story was stronger than what I've gotten from Persona, but I also never beat it, so I don't know. These are both in the category of like games that intrigue me more than I actually like them, but they do intrigue me a lot. Strider I've only played a tiny bit of. I'm not going to qualify it. Soul Calibur. I love Soul Calibur, but it is a total mixed bag as a franchise because you never know what characters you're going to get. You never know if the game's going to be like overall fun. I like it a lot though. I've had more fun playing Soul Calibur than I have playing like most games. Maybe even more than Guilty Gear. Like, because I'm better at Soul Calibur, particularly Soul Calibur 2, is like the only fighting game I pretty consistently win at. So I might have to put it all the way up here. I really enjoy playing Soul Calibur games. I would absolutely be down to play more of them. I main like Sung Mina and Keelik. Haven't actually played any Drakengard, another one where I own the 3 games and haven't played them at all. Ratchet and Clank. Okay, this was a big deal for me because, like I said in, I think, a previous part when I ranked Sly Cooper, like, the result of Sly Cooper being so good was that I immediately went and got Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, and I played them back to back. I think I beat Ratchet and Clank 1, or at least got to the final boss, and then, like, my save file got fucked up or something, because I moved house in, like, while I was playing it. And then I got, like, pretty far into 2, not as far into 3. I beat Deadlocked a few times. And then when it got to the PS3 era, I kind of just never ended up playing them. Like, I kept hearing stuff from my friends who were playing them that they basically were just not as impressive as the games had been, and felt like the spark was gone, and like it was just being continued because it was their franchise, you know, it was Insomniac's successful franchise. And like, I'm kind of happy that they finally moved on from Ratchet and moved into doing these Spider-Man games, you know, even though I haven't played those, but they are intriguing at the very least. Ratchet and Clank, I don't think it holds up that well. So I'm not going to put it in very good because I cannot see, like, I have gone back and tried to play Ratchet and Clank 1, and like, it's funny, it's fun, it's interesting. It just isn't that good. Like, it's not that fun to play. It's hard for me to even want to put it above, like I don't think I'd rather play it than F-Zero or Tekken or even Persona. I definitely have had more emotional experiences with Ratchet and Clank, you know, being one of my favorite franchises from my preteens. I think it's very sly and interesting. The writing is really good, especially in the first game. I'd probably pick it over Tekken. I think I'm going to put it there. Odd spot, but that's where it's going. Okay, Armored Core I've never really seriously played because it's too intimidating. I might have like touched Xenoverse. I don't really remember. Never played this. Never played Daytona. Gradius is just like hard and very like generic aesthetically. Not even a game I really enjoy watching other people play because it's so like middlingly aesthetic. If this was Parodius, I would rank it higher because that's something that is fun to look at. But Gradius to me is mid the same way Contra is mid. Just like very boy toys in a way that I don't like get anything out of. Can't remember if I've ever played Double Dragon. Never played Danganronpa. Never played Rival Schools. Oh boy, Kirby is going straight up to the masterpiece tier. The question is, how high? I think I'm going to put it definitely clear Super Smash Bros. It's a question for me of, like, I think I probably have more fun playing Splatoon than I do playing Kirby, and I have more casually picked up Splatoon. Like, it's a game that I will continue playing day after day when I get into it. Kirby is a little bit more of like a flight of fancy, you know. It's just so easy to throw and go. It is so easy to play half an hour of Kirby, you know, of any Kirby. They're always fun. They're always gratifying. It's almost all good games. Like, if we're ranking on like just consistency, Kirby is like maybe the greatest, you know. But I don't know if it has the same like raw impact. But at the same time, like, there's so much of Kirby 64 lives in my head rent free since childhood, and I didn't even play it that much. Like, I probably watched Victor play it more than I played it, but it's just so aesthetically satisfying. So yeah, I'm thinking definite God tier for Kirby. Also, one of the best character designs, just generally likable character in gaming. Nintendo royalty. Okay, Shovel Knight don't think I've actually played. Little Big Planet. I know I've played at least the first two at least a little bit, but I just could not get into like the controls of this game. Trying to make stuff was really frustrating. Like, the fact that there were so many possibilities was really enticing to me, but I never could figure out how to make anything that actually intrigued me, and I didn't like the aesthetic that much. Loved the soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. But to me, Little Big Planet, like, barely clears above average. I probably had less fun than Fable, so like I'm gonna put it there. Do I even like it as much as I feel like I've probably had more fun with certain Donkey Kong games actually. Pac-Man, I feel like I can just move Pac-Man down. Pac-Man can be king of mid. Let's be real. Pac-Man can be king of mid. Super Robot Wars, I've only played a tiny bit of X. I don't feel like I could rate it. Advance Wars, I am not good enough at to play. So I'm going to unrank this. Even though I have played like maybe 5 hours of the first game, that was when I was a kid, and I don't feel like I had any idea what the fuck was going on. Never played Syndicate. I'm interested in some of the Oddworld games, but have never actually played them. Never played Insurgency. I've played like half of Chrono Trigger and a few hours of Chrono Cross, and both of them I think are very good games that I still believe are somewhat overrated. I probably would rather watch someone else play them than play them myself, but less so than Super Mario. I don't think I can clear Bomberman because I really like Bomberman. I don't think I can clear F-Zero. I think I'll put obviously they're really great games, but they just don't appeal to me as much as they appeal to other people seemingly. I've never quite understood how it's like greatest game of all time status, but You know, they seem really cool though. Gundam Versus, I've never played. Dragon Ball Z, whichever one this is, I have not played. Overwatch, I've played a decent amount of both Overwatch 1 and 2. I main Anna and Ash. I'm going to put this to me is categorized similarly to Street Fighter as like a game that is fun to play, and if that's what my friends want to do, I'm going to do it and probably have a good time. Aesthetically appeals to me a lot more than Street Fighter, and I'd be more likely to pick it up and play it, especially if like my husband Bird's a big Overwatch, so like I think I'm more likely to play Overwatch than most of the other stuff in good tier. I think I'm going to put it right here. Because in terms of how much I want to play it, I almost, through putting it here, want to rate, like, because I can't see myself easily picking up Gears of War today, or even really any Castlevania. I don't know. Each of these is a game I could maybe see returning to. You know, like, I'd be more excited. I think I'm going to pump up Fire Emblem, actually. I know I've gone through, like, several videos now with Fire Emblem in good tier and Portal in very good tier, and now they've reversed places, but I think it's fair. Because I'm just thinking about how excited I am to play these games. Like, I am legitimately excited to play Fire Emblem 7 right now. I don't feel any strong urge to play Portal. You know, I don't feel a strong urge to play Overwatch, but I do think I'd be more likely to, you know, than maybe even Portal, but not as likely as BlazBlue. But I'm not as excited about BlazBlue as Fire Emblem, so I think I've sorted that. I think that's a good sorting. Okay, Red Faction I never played. Don't know this one. Don't know this one. I've played a little bit of Risk of Rain. Definitely not my thing. This falls into I don't like it. Pokemon Stadium is mad fun. I love the mini games. Playing the main game is pretty funny because of the announcer guy. Krona and I had a really good time playing this together when she was at my house. I think I would rather play it for like a short burst than Overwatch, but I think I'd rather play Overwatch for a long burst. But I think I could put it above Portal. I think Pokemon Stadium sits in. I know it doesn't belong there by like gamer standards, but the nostalgia is like super real with that one. Again, that was like one of the games I played the most as a kid because it was multiplayer, and Pokemon. Two things that were important to me as a kid. All right, so that's where we're gonna end this one with my ridiculous placement of Pokemon Stadium above Portal. Yeah, that has to stand for me. I'm sorry. I can't, in good conscience. I'm just thinking about how much fun I had playing Pokemon Stadium with Crota. And, like, I think we only even played the first one. We didn't even play Pokemon Stadium 2. So, like, that's a whole other can of worms. And they only made the 2. You know? They changed the name after that. So, it's just those 2 games. And if I enjoy both of them, that's a pretty solid franchise, I think. I think I'm happy with where this is at right now, even if things have gotten a little bit ridiculous. But, yeah, that's part 3. So there's definitely going to be 5. I think there's going to be at least 5 parts of this. It could even end up with 6, but I feel like it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. There are a lot of games I've played in this list still. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to go take a nap, and then I'll continue. All right, shouts out to members. Arthur Washington, Hewan, Joshua Wiley AL, Elaine, Deep Talker, Waterfan, Ranila, Nathan Pugh, Rielly and Friends, Superchunk 121, Luna_Lulu, Max Potion TCG, Isabel Incorporated, Zemq, Curbman, Crystalline Fos, Zydeas, Zinc, Radio Knights, Brianna W., Baba Caduceus, Pika Pika 2000, Sister of Scarlet, Kudere-kun, Mayday from Space, Spectral, The Mr. Grafixable, Oh My Guy, Commenter number 456, Spacey Filmer, Your Stuff is Cool, CC, Plague on Humanity, ASE Presents, Denacori, Brody, Z-Cypher, Gary Always, Gigadonk, Zerakiel, Zen Huxtable, Duncan264, Gassy Hall, Taperclip, and Night Night. Thank you all. We're at 46. I appreciate it. Love you. See you in the next one.